Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be talking about Legeluga. This is one of the most hated/underrated units, so I wanted to take the time to make a video about it. With all of that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Who is Legeluga/Legoland Pastolin? Legeluga is a legendary cat obtained from Tales of Legeluga banner in Battle Cats. Its role is a rusher/mid-ranger with 300 range and Omni Strike that goes 700 range backwards. Legeluga is immune to every debuff and ability except Curse, Surge, and Explosion. Now, let's talk about forms. Legeluga's first form has terrible stats. That is why you should only use the second form. Legoland Pastolin, I'll refer to it as Legeluga, is a unique legend rare, as it's the only one without a specific trait targeting as a version 14.2. Most people regard Legeluga as the worst legend rare, or a failure/flop of a legend rare, to say the least. But is this true? Is Legeluga a viable rusher/mid-ranger, or a legend that cannot perform well enough? Well, that's what I'll discuss today. Before judging a unit, you always have to look at its stats. In our case, Legeluga has 67.5k damage with around 19k DPS, 81,000 health, 300 range, 20 speed, and 5 knockbacks with the immunity to weaken, freeze, slow, knockback, warp, and waves. You may be asking yourself, how is this bad? Well, technically on the battlefield, these numbers aren't bad, but as a legend rare without any trait targeting, this doesn't help with Legeluga's role. This makes Legeluga not stand out as much from the other legends. This is why most people put Legeluga in a really low tier list. It doesn't stop there. With the introduction of Awakened Bahamut talents, Legeluga is even more forgotten as a rusher. This brings us to our next topic. Legeluga versus Bahamut. Possibly Legeluga's biggest rivalry, Awakened Bahamut. Awakened Bahamut already has higher damage than Legeluga at level 30. He also has faster speed, faster recharge time, and is easier to obtain. His talents grant Explosion, which adds to his damage and gains Piercing. This makes Legeluga outclassed and useless, right? Well, not really. Legeluga still has 100 more range, much higher health, and immunities. This already makes Legeluga a better endurance rusher. Legeluga can do what Bahamut can't, and vice versa. So the final question, is Awakened Bahamut better than Legeluga? Yes and no. They both are too different to compare. Also, instead of replacing each other, they can compensate for each other's weaknesses. Now, finally, my opinion about Legeluga. In my opinion, Legeluga is underrated. Sure, it may not be the best rusher or the best legend rare, but it's still good. The main points of interest is 300 range, immunities, and Omni Strike. Let's start with the range. Having more range than a typical rusher is rare. And since Legeluga has more range, it will generally survive longer, meaning it can land more hits. This makes the damage and no trading target not much of a problem. Next is immunities. Being immune to freeze and slow is nice, so always stay at the same speed. And weaken immune helps Legeluga stay relevant later on. Immune to knockback and warp can go either way, good or bad. Depends on the situation. But the most important immunity is immune to waves. Being immune to waves just makes Legeluga a great option for wave-heavy stages, or in mixed stages. It's just overall great and very helpful in the new meta. Finally, Omni Strike. You may think this is useless because it only goes backwards, and Legeluga does not have Zombie Killer or Soul Strike. But it actually helps in one specific scenario, when enemies clip through your units. Since Legeluga is a rusher/mid-ranger, it will usually always be in the front attacking. When the base gets hit, sometimes the boss will spawn, causing your units to be knocked back. This is called the boss shockwave. Brawlers use this to their advantage, taking their high speed and rushing behind your front line. This is where Legeluga comes in. It can hit behind your units, effectively one-shotting the Brawlers and saving your backliners from danger. With all of that said, you may think Legeluga is still trash or outclassed. But if you get Legeluga and take the time to use it, it can actually perform well. Overall, Legeluga is overhated and underrated. Just because it isn't a good legend rare doesn't mean it's a bad unit. Anyways, that wraps up the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video.